Now, the professors are actually kind of interesting.
Professor, school is now open. You've come to the right teacher. Want a lesson?
Nexus nodes or critical nodes. The very first one is power versus foes with 1 or greater impairment. What that means is if an aura has a hex on it, now the professor can actually utilize that on there and actually do more damage. So let's say you have a spider. I'm just going to create a spider, and let's say you it has 100 stamina. I'm just throwing out arbitrary numbers. Then an aura comes along and hits it with a hex. Now it drops down by 5 stamina. Now before it does that, let's say the professor attacks it and it took that 5 damage away, or took 10 damage or whatever. Now the hex is put on there, and let's say the professor hits it again, and instead of like 5 damage, it increases it by 10 damage, or because of the power level is increased. That's where it comes into play. So when there's an impairment on the thing, you actually do more damage. So it's already debuffed or damaged, and you're going to even do more damage. See where it's starting to come into play? The next critical node is a deterioration hex. What that does is it reduces the stamina whenever the foe attacks or defends. So every round, it's going to decrease their stamina. It's like, if you, in reference to like RPGs or fantasy gaming, it's like a dot, like a damage over time per se. So you throw that on there, and for each round, it reduces their stamina. Very, very key, important thing to have if you have a very high level foe that has a lot of HP or a lot of stamina, and you want to, you have a long fight. You know, your magic zoologist are reviving you and increasing your stamina. You're doing damage to it, but it may not be enough. But if you have that on there, it can assist the fight if the fight is a long fight. Now, I'm going to mention some side branches for the professor because it comes into play with that particular critical node. On the left side, you have defense versus foes with 1 or 2 impairments. So what that basically means is someone has a hex on it or some sort of impairment on it, and it starts attacking you. Well, if you get these particular side branches, the amount of damage it will do to you will be lessened overall throughout the time, because you have these professions, and it has all these impairments. Now on the right side of the tree, you have increases your power when you have enhancement. So on the flip side, so in this scenario, because you have your initial deterioration hex, as well as power versus foes 1 or greater impairment, and now you're buffed, you're able to do even more damage to it because of what is on there. And see, you see where it's coming. You're stacking up all these things so you can take it down quicker or survive longer because you took these particular side branches. Now, the next critical node for professor is a protection charm, and that's increases your defense, just your defense. So you're able to be a little tankier as you progress. You'll be able to last longer and take more damage. That's not like adding anything protect. It's just for your base defense stat. Next critical node is proficiency charm, and what that is, it's a team buff that increases their proficiency power. So whatever proficiency that they're working on or whatever they have, you're enhancing that ability all across the board for your team. So all these different proficiencies, abilities I'm telling you about, like the stamina increases and the hex and all that stuff, this ability allows you to increase that power level. So that's kind of important for like a team buff, basically, is what it is. And alongside, right under that, alongside with the protection charm, there is an enhancement to defense while you have enhancement. So unlike where you had power on the right side of the tree, you can add a more proficiency where you can actually mitigate damage based on you just having enhancements, any kind of enhancements at all. So you see where some of these branches come into play. It's a little bit more important if you really want to tweak your tankiness or your power, your survivability, or even your ability to actually assist other members. So that's why you don't want to ignore the branches, but you may not necessarily want to max them out completely, but it's just something to consider. Now, the thing that you're probably all waiting for is the end nodes, the final 4 end nodes. Like with the other proficiencies, there are 2 specialists. Now, the one is accuracy versus pixies. So if you come across a pixie, and you know how pixies are, they move around a lot, they're very dexterous. But this allows you to increase your accuracy significantly, so you'll be able to hit every time that you're attacking. Now, you may not think, well, I've come across pixies and they're not that tough. Remember, you're talking harder foes and endgame stuff. The next end node is defense breach against werewolves. Now, that is typically, you're not a tank per se, but you're actually breaching or drilling into a werewolf's particular defense. So their protegos and whatever they're using to defend themselves. So if you come across a werewolf, just throw your werewolf specialist out there and let them just go at it. So with the other abilities like the debuffs and everything else, they're the ones that are going to be hitting the target the way you want to hit it. And another one of their leg is the power versus foes with +3 or more impairments. So you're throwing, and remember it's an end node, so you're throwing all these things at your enemies and at your foes, and it's stacking up and stacking up. This allows, basically, it's a damage dealer. After all the dots and the debuffs and everything has been put on, so everything stacks on it, and you really want to hit it when it's down. That's your class. It's basically hit it when it's already down kind of thing. And there are also impairment foe stamina, like impair your foe's stamina, which it decreases the initial stamina and the stamina of the creature. Now, I did notice for professors, now I'm not sure if this is intentional or not, that it does actually have a restore stamina and a stamina restoration under the very first critical node. I think that's just to augment or to assist with a magic zoologist's ability to restore stamina. Probably in a emergency situation where maybe the magic zoologist can't do that, so, and the professor has some extra focus, like, well, I'll do like a mini heal or minor heal while you get your focus back up kind of thing. That's probably why they have that in there. Okay, so for recap, your specialist goals, if you want it, for auras is a Death Eater specialist, a debuffer, a critical power damage dealer, the one-hitter quitter, and a Dark Wizard specialist, basically a Dark Wizard defender or tank. For Magic Zoologist, a spider tank, a regular defense tank, as long as you have focus, a elite buffer for your team, or a Urkling damage dealer. And for your professors, your pixie hitters, your werewolf breachers, your hit him while it's down impairment hitters. Okay, and for the fourth one is basically your stamina impairer, a daughter, damage over timer. Anyways, that's for the professor. So, food for thought. Give yourself a chance. I'll put a little link as I describe them. And hopefully this will help you figure out which tree you want to go to. Hopefully you have a wonderful, beautiful day. And see you in the next video. So again, this is for Professions 101 specialists. And if you're a little bit confused, ask questions, please. I'm here to help. I'm here to enhance your gameplay. So come at me. Hopefully things will be doing well, and catch you guys later. Peace out.